Hi there, Canucks and friends, and welcome to this special edition of the Canucks Capsuleers Chronicles. And we got with us Melicien Tetro that just got off from his interview with with CCP. And let's get right into it.
EVE Online. Lost 23,000 years in the future, our group of space Canucks are sorry in advance. I'm Ben, and
I'm Dan.
your Hoosers from the Great Wide North, here to decode the mysteries of wormholes, tame the unruly drones with a Timmy in our hands, and keep you, fellow capsuleers, in the loop about all things EVE Online, from Canada to the edge of New Eden. So grab your double, kick back, and let's dive into the Canucks Capsuleers Chronicles, where the only thing colder than space is the chill running down your back after a close encounter with a cloaked ship. So get ready, set, and about we go!
And welcome back, Canucks and friends. Sorry about that, Melicien. So we are with Melicien Tetro. Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure. So, for those of you that do not know who you are, could you please present yourself?
Hi. Let's see. I've been playing for 20 years. For about 17 of those, pretty much a nobody, hanging out with my real life friends. I managed to drag into the game, but at the invasion, I really stepped up and started FCing, and that's when I felt like I'm making a really big difference in the game, especially now Vula. So since then, I'm near Pochven, and then running my own alliance that, even though it's very Triglavian and Pochven oriented, the origins and a lot of our function is in middle class wormholes, C4s. So
Okay, we'll come back to that. What would be your expertise in the game?
really anything related to the invasion storyline and the precursor storyline, all of that stuff. These are really my strengths. I don't know if you've looked at the Triglavian syntax, try to understand what they're saying, but that's a skill itself, and there aren't a lot of people who do it. So,
Yeah, it's even rarer than people speak Klingon.
yeah. Even though it's not like a language, right? It's just the words. It's just syntax,
Yeah, I've looked into it during the invasion, but I cannot say that I've remembered everything. There's so much triangle, and one of my weaknesses are Doritos, so I need to be careful concerning those. But wait a minute. You spoke about C4. Could you, Pochven C4 the link, please?
All right, so C4, I forget the name of the static type, but Pochven itself generates a C4 static. It's a K162 on the Pochven side. Yeah, there are two wormhole statics to Pochven. One of them is a C4 specific static, and that's why we're based in C4s.
Oh, okay. So you're not based in Pochven per se. You're not in living out of the Triglavian NPC structures.
We are now, but
okay.
Yeah. The more recently, we've moved directly into Raravos, and we're having a great time there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was the operational goal, but really the reality of the majority of our function for this alliance has been in the C4s.
Oh, okay. So you're ratting blue loots more, or doing okay.
Yeah, we had a C5 static, C4 to C5, and I took in a lot of new players that were in Triglavian loyal players who wanted to get to Pochven, but we didn't have the strength to, fight in the Thunderdome triangle yet. We got our stuff together, got them all trained up in the shacks and the C5s.
Nice. That's really nice. So, oh well. Actually, let's focus on your campaign a bit. Okay, for those that only knows Pochven as a place not to go, could you explain what's Pochven actually and what kind of gameplay we can expect there?
Well, it's very PvP oriented. The people that live there are very PvP oriented. If you think of it as a place not to go, it's I mean, don't do that because it's great. Everybody should go there. Even if you're just going to use it for the, like the 4D filament highway to get here and there. But if it seems scary, go out there and get a fight. Like, get a fight on purpose. Take a frigate out there, take a cruiser, get a fight, talk to the people who kill you inevitably, and they're all great sports, and they'll take you right into the channels and show you the ropes.
Nice, nice. So, like a bit of a wormhole mentality.
Yes, it's very much like wormhole Bushido plus like 04 low sec.
That's interesting. And like the step to go there, because in your post you were speaking about new player retention and attraction. How is your gameplay in Pochven newbie friendly?
There are a lot of things that you can do there that aren't directly combat. I personally think that ninja salvaging in Pochven is one of the best new player roles for both money and experience, right? Like, even if a new player is not making money the first 10 times that they go try to ninja salvage in Pochven, I don't mind SRPing it another 10 or 20 times, because they will eventually, start making big payouts, learn the flow of the region, it's very easy, it's very accessible. It's a whole ecosystem in itself, just the people who salvage out there.
That's interesting, because it's mostly like the T2 salvaging that is like really worth a lot. Is that what you get there, or is it more of T1's hulls that you salvage?
There's a lot of everything. There's like the rats generate T2 hulls and T2
Oh,
salvage.
really? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's wild. It's so wild out there. And then some of the T1 salvage, for example, like the overmines, they can roll really high, and you can end up with like a 300 million.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from a single wreck. It's really wild.
Wow.
It's hit or miss on those ones, but it has that jackpot feeling to it. So if you put the time out there and you get the salvage and you do the looting, like you'll make your ship cost at least.
That's interesting.
Usually a lot more, though.
Yeah. In your campaign post, you were speaking about roleplay. For those that are not really familiar with the term, what does it does and how does it apply in Eve?
For me, I guess roleplay is like, how much am I playing right? Let's see, how do I phrase this? So it's the performance of your character and the level of immersion with your character. I specifically find it really easy in Eve. After playing this game for 20 years, my Eve character, it doesn't feel like a persona. It feels like, it feels like an alias. It's like another facet of me at this point. And I like to enhance that experience if possible. Anything that immerses people more into it. And like Eve roleplay kind of has a weird thing going on where you can really fake it here to make it in some capacity by role playing something. Like, for example, if you're role playing a market PvP expert, you're going to be better at trading in real life.
Yeah, because what you put your mind to it, it gets easier to actually do it because you believe in it in some ways.
Mm-hmm. Or another example is diplomacy in Eve. Like people who hardcore role play diplomats, like, for example, like Vile Rat, rest in peace. that's a person that was enhancing their real life venture by role playing in Eve.
Okay, because some of us might have seen like roleplay in tabletop settings or like LARPing, like live action role playing. For what like I've seen in Eve, it's really not that way. Like it really looks more like written stuff and how is it actually? Like, let's say that people like want to get into roleplay. What is it? Is like I'm reading like walls of text and I'm responding my own wall of text, or like is there like events?
There's a lot of that. There's so many levels to it, and I'm not deeply involved in it, right? Like, but it's important to me. It's not something I pick up in really any other game either. There's a lot of levels to it. If there is I want to just make a wall of text back and forth, right? There's the forums, and then I forget the name of the website, but behind the forums, there's a community where they write fiction that is kind of curated to be in universe, right? And then there are some newer forums where that's coming up as well, like where these like player created flash fiction entries will start making it more into the zeitgeist of like the general game understanding. Like there'll be things you see.
Okay.
So you can you can role play on the forums and hope that it'll eventually make it into some kind of piece of the game. And then for everybody else, it's just just being a level of immersion in your character. And for me, I try to avoid it. I find it like a little cringe, right? But I slip into it so organically in Eve. It's just being your character.
But when you got like 20 characters, how does that get managed? Because that's a lot of personalities.
All right, so check this out. I'm going to tell you something wild, okay? The other thing that's crazy about my alliance and my corporation is that we discourage multi-boxing. I don't multi-box at all. I've been playing for 20 years. I've had alts. I've multi-boxed before. I've done it. I could like spool up 15 Leshaks and start running things myself, but I made a choice in this corporation. I was like, all right, like every time I think I should spool up an alt, I need to just make a friend,
Wow. For me, it's impressive because there's so much waiting times in Eve, and I need to keep my mind busy. Like, let's say that I'm like on like two of my alts, I'm doing haulings because I need to get stuff move around, and on like another one, like it's like I'm doing like PI, just going like from planet to planet, and on the third, the one like is the one for with my Excel open, and I'm gonna do like all the industry that needs to be happening. Doing only one character with that, it would take me like 4 times this as much time. So like even like if I got friends, like those friends like
it's so hard. It's so hard. I'm also like an old school WoW raid leader. so like the part of like, hey, I need to get these 15 nerds like here together, or even getting 5 nerds together, like yeah, how hard is it to get your Dungeons and Dragons group together or whatever, right? And so, but I try to just lean into that challenge, like, right?
That's interesting. Really,
it's hard mode. It's very much hard mode.
Oh well, like there's a lot of options for hard mode in EVE Online. You got like those community, how are they called? Not red, like don't shoot. So NRDS.
Oh, the not purple shooter.
No, the NRDS, like the not red, don't shoot. Yeah, like they used to be in Providence back in the days, and now like I think they're still like APOC behaving that way. Maybe CVA is back to that track again, but that's hard mode. Like I've been trying it, and I'm so happy to be in wormholes now and just shoot everything that moves.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay, back to you. So, well, actually, you were saying that you got like experience in C4, C5 because they connect to Pochven, and it was like really helpful for you. Maybe you could like get a few votes here. What do you think about improving the moons in wormholes?
Well, I know we didn't mess with them because they're trash, so I would think they'd have to be improved. Like it seems really wild. Like the moons are like I thought maybe it was our system, but they're just trash. They're just all trash.
Everywhere.
Jeez, yeah, no, they really need love.
And like Pochven, like do you know if there's like any good moons? Well, actually, you cannot anchor any structure there, so those moons are
really
lost.
I can tell you one place that's got some good moons. That's Kuhara.
Okay, and
you can just make friends with them, and I mean they're really nice people who are there. So
yeah, but their
as
chunk
long
of
as they
moon
last.
should like not last long.
I mean, but they've already made it 3 years at this point. So.
Oh.
Yeah. These are R64s and stuff, so they're not.
So yeah, like if someone destroys it, nobody else will ever get access to that again.
Yeah, but and at that point, that's one of the things I'm kind of really preservation oriented with Pochven, right? Everybody's like, burn everything, burn it, burn, get the structures, and I'm like, but what about this? This is our friend's R64. We should probably keep that. We deserve nice things, right?
Yeah, and what about like the structure of the big null blocks?
I think those are mostly gone.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're mostly gone.
Like
the Horde fort is gone. Like it's pretty much all gone. The Frat fort's gone. It's pretty much all gone. Like I'm trying to think of, like I don't know anything that's on the really important hit list anymore.
Okay, so like, are there any fort left in Pochven?
Yeah, I think there are 3 relatively open forts.
Oh, that's interesting. And
I think they're behind ACLs, but it's like,
well,
like hang out for 5 minutes, make friends with somebody,
That's interesting. Hi there, did you in chat? Okay, so what are like the 2 biggest thing that Eve needs right now?
I think 2 really big things that Eve needs right now is new players, a lot better retention, and a lot more diversity of players.
Yeah, you mean?
So new player retention and new player diversity, right?
So you mean like
That's
from more countries?
Like, well, let's see, not just more countries, right? Because that's one thing that Eve is pretty good about. We've got a fairly international community. We get to like, I don't have a lot of other opportunities to have like civil discussion with Russians on Discord, Eve is amazing for that. But I think that one thing Eve is really one easy inclusion and diversity option. Like, it's a pretty harsh game for women to try to get into.
Yeah, well, that has been like one of the subjects of the show because when she's available, we got Dem's now here that is actually my wife that I play with, and she's on the Women's in Gaming, like all those the newsletters and all those things, and we got like updates from time to time concerning that. We got there are different kinds of efforts that have been put forward in the last year And I know that on the CSM minutes, CCP is putting forward resources to get more women in gaming and retention. So we should see, I guess, new mechanics or incentive to keep women in EVE Online.
That's amazing. My partner plays with me as well, so I don't know. Maybe I should, get her to talk to you.
Yeah, well, you got the invitation to to our Discord, so it's a permalink that you got. Send it there, and she can get in touch with Damsnor, and they can have a chat.
Sounds great.
Okay. So that's one of the biggest thing that Eve needs right now. What would be the second one?
Ooh, the second one. Maybe just more new territory. I know people think that.
Okay.
People think that the game is too expansive, and to some measure that is really true. But I like to think that that's future proof, and we don't need to collapse systems or anything like that. But having a little bit of Pochven really showed the value of having that new frontier, right? And I hopefully Zarzak scratches that itch, right, for that kind of frontier rush madness, right, that lasts for years after it. And I could say that's probably one other thing Eve needs.
Nice. Okay. Do you think that Pochven should triple its size?
Triple its size?
It kind of doubled, because
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I absolutely like the idea of another wave of the invasion. Obviously, I've been looking at Jita's son very closely all the time. It's a perfect candidate, and I think that, maybe the game needs that. Maybe,
yeah,
bring Jita to Pochven.
Oh, that would be changing. It would actually help the smaller hubs that are in not good health, let's say. You're speaking about Zarzat. For those of our listeners that do not know what Zarzat is referring to, could you expand on that, please?
Let's see. So Zarzak, I guess the new Jovian gates. They're named the Zarzak gates. Usually, gates are named for where they go to, right? Zarzak, from what I understand, it doesn't match it directly, but it's a liminal space in Islamic mysticism. It's it's a little bit like a purgatory type deal, but there's some more nuance to it than that. I'm still investigating.
Oh,
right?
Nice.
But yeah, it's like a purgatory type deal, but it's also it's got a little bit of a nuance, if you come in here with good, you're going to just have a good time. And if you come in here with bad, you're going to have a bad time. And it's a layer before the afterlife.
Oh, okay. The judgment place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, judgment playground.
Oh, well, that's Reglavian, right?
Yeah, very much so. It feels there's a lot of similar energy, but I think it might be led by a more explicit bad guy. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, the bad guy vibe has been really put into this deathless guy, this guy here, no good.
Yeah. He seems to be a charismatic villain, right? And Eve really, we need a bit of that. Because drifters are amazing, right? The drifters are amazing villains, but they're really impersonal, and the average player does not understand them at all. They're how is this guy everywhere? I don't understand. Why is this guy Tyrannos everywhere? Who are they? Where are they from? And that's no other boss, I think, in any game has maintained that level of power and mysticism, right? Like in any other MMO, if you think about it, like, like you slay the dragon, you kill the void monster, you whatever. Drifters are always scary, and you never really know what's going on with them. They've never been trivialized.
Yeah, and but their story has been left like a few years back, and have not like evolved ever since. Because they did.
So that's
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the precursor story continues right in the background. For example, there are new drifters that appear, like there's new drifters that show up only in Pochven, for example. There's new drifters that only show up in home fronts. So the drifter storyline hasn't been abandoned. It's just always been under the surface. Now with this Alsavoy Non, I forget, it's one of the gate locations. It had all 5 drifter wormholes there the other day. So the story is not abandoned. It's coming back to the forefront. It's all a big precursor story. So but it does seem really disconnected if you're not really into the lore and roleplay.
Yeah, because like you were saying, like there's no big villain, or because
the Deathless looks really good for that.
Yeah, but the thing is, in Eve, everyone's a villain.
Oh yeah, every player is a narcissistic psychopath with like millions and millions of baseliners dead.
Yeah, like when you look into the lore on that side, like it's like, oh, that's monstrous. Okay, let's play.
Yeah, no, it's like that. If you not even the ships that you kill, just the baseliner crew that's on your ships in addition. If you like do the math on how many people, like, it's just too big. The numbers are so big.
Yeah, well, there's a thing that they get out in the in the lore where there are like evacuation capsule for the crew that makes that some of them can survive, but when you're in let's say in an abyss, sorry, there's a smart bomb, sorry.
Or upwell structures, ooh.
Yeah, so yeah, like this thing here, sometimes like you do the math, let's say you think about the massacre of M2, number do not add up. Like the sheer amount of planets, habitable planets, and the time to train those people, no, there's like the maths don't do it.
There's just not enough humans.
No, even in like if we're like in really really big numbers and like it's a distant future and everything, it's just not possible when you think about like the different timelines and how like you do like approximation of populations. Not working.
I can definitely believe that.
Yeah. Okay. Next up. What would be the one thing in the game that if it changes during your time as a CSM member, you would consider your term a real success?
The Triglavian LP store.
Oh.
Hopefully it's just planned anyway, and I have no impact on it. But if it happened, I would call it a huge success regardless, It's a big deal to me, and it would mean a lot of other stuff coming to line. It's just a benchmark that's easy to be like, Triglavian LP store, let's finish it. There's a bunch of stuff in it you can't get still.
Okay, so wait, there's an LP store for now, or there's not?
There's a half an LP store right now.
What do you mean half a LP store?
All right, so if you at any of the NPC stations, you go to the LP store, and there's this little. There's an LP store there, right? But it's instead of off of LP, it's off of these. They're called. They're like a data fragment. It's a navigation log of some kind, right? And every ship in Pochven drops it. So that's your LP, right? The LP store has a lot of items that you can't get. Like the components to get the item out of the LP store do not exist in the game yet. So it advertises items that you just can't get. A lot of them are very cool fashion items that are very, 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 very valuable that we all really wish we could just get more of.
Okay. That's weird. So
Yeah, it's a
like
weird one.
it's just like on the shelf and like yeah we're gonna finish that. Oh, that list.
Yeah, I think it's more complicated than that, right? Obviously, and I'm trying to figure it out from the outside, and I want to know what the heck is going on and just get it. Everybody wants it, so just push it forward. Let's figure out what's going on.
Exactly. No, that's interesting. Before we go to the last question, are there like any other subject that you would like to tackle?
No, I think that was a pretty great interview. Questions, comprehensive. I'm good.
Great. So last question, but not the least. Why should Canucks and friends vote for you?
Let's see. One, so far my interactions with Canadians in the game have been great so far. Shout out to Canadian Forces. And then, well, I gave you my best friend. We went to kindergarten together, and we played Eve together. And your country, they took him, and he's a fine citizen. So, as a liaison between the lower states and the great nation of Canada, I can do that.
Great. And also you're everything that is Pochven related.
Yes.
Perfect.
I don't know. I don't know what our Canadian population is in Pochven right now. I need to do a survey.
Oh well, yeah, and like you need like to get them like into the Beaver show if they're not already. Oh, sorry, they don't say that. The Canuck Capture Lear Chronicles. We've been through a rebranding last weekend.
Branding.
Yeah,
So
actually,
hard.
like the YouTube algorithm do not like the B word because it does refer to like something else.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh.
So
They're
now
like-
things are better.
The algorithm's a lot better. Yeah.
No, yeah, like with that title, things are getting better. Yeah.
That's great. Branding in 2023. Jeez.
Oh yeah. So on this, thank you a lot, Melicien Tetro, for your time. It was greatly appreciated, and thank you, Canucks. See you on the next video. Au revoir.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.